All right, hello everyone. Welcome back. Big Time Auto Racing, episode 43. Now, there has been a little bit of a delay in between episodes here. Quite the break we took, about a month and a half, give or take. But a lot of beach trips going on, a lot of racing going on, and man, it's hard to do all this all the time. So we apologize for the delay or the going missing, but we have had some good times during this brief period of going missing. Went a couple beach trips. Brandon, how you been during this little spell of being gone?
Yeah, as me and you refer to it, I guess we're coming off the back half of the Hell Tour part of the season as far as on the racing side of things, and as you said, been able to mix in some beach trips in there. Played a little bit of golf. I think since we last talked to our listeners and everybody, and just been a bunch of racing though. So yeah, glad to be back. Glad to get everybody tuned up and tuned back into big time auto racing, and definitely a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we got obviously Throwback Week was just this past week. $50,000 Throwback Classic, $50,000 to win. Minnie Tyrell came home with the win, which is obviously a huge deal for him. We did not do any kind of like preview episode or anything of that nature, but we did have a few beers and talked a little bit about who we thought was going to win. And I will say, none of us picked Minnie. And we had a pretty good group of people. And I guess it was just because he hasn't necessarily, ran a whole lot or, won at Hickory yet. So he's, I guess that was our reasoning for not necessarily picking him. But boy, was we wrong. He, from the get-go, where did he qualify actually?
Ninth.
Yeah, ninth. So he said in his interview that he knew he had a good car, and practice-wise, it was really good. One of the better cars he's ever had there. But a lot of calamity there late that definitely put him in a position to win, especially with Caden Honeycutt getting sent to the rear, and then the big pile up there between the two leaders, Landon Lewis and Tristan McKee. With how many would you go? Was there, Brandon? Like 10?
10. Yeah, 10 to go.
10 to go. That was right after the jump start deal. So let's just get back to the start here before we hop on too much further. So let's just get right back to the beginning. Or it was announced a while ago, right, that $50,000 to win late models, $30,000 to win pros. So an $80,000 purse has been a hot commodity in the late model world, and we've been wondering how many cars is going to show up and how many cars would get sent home. And at one point, people were thinking, golly, there would be 60 to 80 cars. Brandon, me and you talked a lot about how many cars we thought were going to be there, in the months leading up to it, just trying to make our predictions and stuff for whatever reason. And I think me and you both were pretty much spot on the last couple of months at least.
Yeah, I mean, matter of fact, I think me and you talked.
I think we said 43 at one point.
Yeah, we're like 43, 45, and it ended up being 42. So I'd say that's pretty damn good.
We'll say it was a little bit disappointing to see, or well, not disappointing, but it sucked to see a couple guys had to leave due to the rain or whatever. So like the starting field was supposed to be 30, but actually was it 28 cars? Did Charlie Watson go home too?
Classified. Yes.
Okay, so Charlie and Mason?
Yeah. Well, no, so Charlie didn't make it in the show. It was Thomas Bean and...
Oh, Charlie just went home. He didn't run the LCQ or whatever.
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
I got
and Thomas...
there was a couple more that didn't come
did
back to run the LCQ as well.
Yeah, McGregor did start and park it, but I'm like you. I don't...
Right.
I say a 28-car field is what really raced.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that definitely sucks, from on the outside looking in, for sure. But one of those deals where I don't know, what stipulations you really put in. But I think you probably could have made some kind of... There was probably something out there you could have done, but like, hey, the guys that finished third and fourth in the LCQ, are they still on site? Or, you know what I mean? Like, if it's something that's if guys are pulling out in that big of a race, I mean, I feel like there's maybe an opportunity there. Maybe not. I don't know. Just kind of bringing it up because I thought it was kind of weird that just a couple people asked, what the hell was there only 29 cars on Race Monitor for? I'm like, hell, I don't know. And I asked today, and they told me, I'm like, oh, shit, well, that sucks. I mean, I'm sure they had a reason to leave, obviously. I'm not saying it sucks on their part, but it sucks that they didn't get to start all the cars they wanted to or whatever. But either way, big field, 40 plus cars, 43 showed up, and holy shit, was that a tough field, like a really tight field. There was no cars there that didn't have a shot to make the field for one. We say it all the time, like you can take any Cars Tour car and go to a local show and pretty much win it or whatever, and that reign is pretty true. But and you've seen some local guys try to make the show. Some made it, some didn't. That was good to see. I think anytime you have a big money show like that, there's going to be a lot of local support at places like Hickory. So it's cool to bring in a mix of local guys. I think like Michael Bumgarner, he made it, local guy. Graham Holler, he raced his way in, ended up finishing 10th. So great run for Graham Holler. A couple other local guys. I think another local guy made it in. Well, Thomas made it in, but he couldn't race, so he had to park it. But anyways, always good to see some local guys make it in there. I feel like I might be missing one. But nonetheless, that was cool to see a couple of dudes that you race, that Blaine and those guys that I watch every week race, make it in and go fend for themselves and see what, mix it up with the big boys. And it seems like most of them handled themselves pretty well. So it was one of the most, and I did not envy you guys very much, I will say, on the qualifying grid. I was pretty happy just standing there with a fucking camera in my hand because that was some nervous sons of bitches. There was some tight assholes on pit road. When was that? Friday night we was qualifying? Yeah, Friday night. There was some tight assholes on pit road Friday night, boys. I'm telling you, I was, there was nobody farted all night. I mean, it smelled so good at Hickory because everybody's asshole was so tight. And it proved to be true. I mean, the time, I don't know what was the gap from first to the cutoff, less than 3/10 or something like that. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I think it was like just over it. Yeah, is what. And I think I saw a stat too that Flo posted that something about like for the last spot to time in on that it was like a 7-way tie or something.
Yeah.
Or like 7 times. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like,
yeah, there's seven different ties throughout the field. So like, it's just. Yeah. It just goes to show you. I mean, we say it every week, so we ain't gonna sit here and harp on it too much. We knew it was gonna be close with 80 cars, $80,000 on the line, and 43 cars showing up. And this is not an easy racetrack. And this is a racetrack that if your car is a little bit upset, it is gonna be pissed off. And whenever you practice all week and you practice all day and it's hotter than hell, and then all of a sudden it just absolutely douches for 3 hours. Yep. Everybody is just, well, we'll see what we got here, boys. Hopefully it's good. I mean, I don't know. It felt good earlier. We worked hard. I'd imagine that's the situation you ran into, Brandon. Unfortunately, you weren't able to get in the show this time, which was, obviously not your goal. I mean, I think we all wrote you in the show, I think, from the get-go. So I'll let you just touch on that yourself because, I mean, I've been there before, so.
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, I mean, us like everybody else, I'm pretty sure that was there throughout the week. Some guys, I know about 3/4 of the field was there on Thursday. We made the decision on Tuesday that Thursday was still looking pretty shaky. And with the limited amount of time they were giving everybody Friday, we were like, let's go ahead and go Wednesday. So we went Wednesday. And also what was nice about that is Kevin was letting people go till dark on Wednesday. So we're like, well, it'll still be warm, but we can see what our car is going to do when we're going to qualify on Friday.
Right.
The problem with that is, like you said, I don't think any of us, at least from what the weather we were looking at until about the end of the first practice on Friday, thought it was going to douche, rain, and cool off 25 degrees. And the track temp probably cooled off about 50 degrees. I mean,
yeah,
it was ridiculous, the temperature change. And the racetrack was green, and yeah, I mean, I think you said it best. There was guys that to me, it looked like there was guys that weren't very good that then their car came alive in those conditions, and then guys that were pretty damn good that their car went to shit in those conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So complete opposite ends of the spectrum. You throw that all into like me and you talked about, it's Cars Tour qualifying, and as a fan or as somebody like you said that is able to just kind of sit back and go, man, I feel for these guys right now, but I'm glad I'm not doing it. It made for quite the show. So unfortunately, yeah, it was the curveball that we didn't need. We ate the racetrack and got really, really tight, and we didn't time in. So, it was definitely unfortunate. That is the only Cars for race I have not, qualified myself into, and obviously it was a bummer. I as you said, you don't ever, I guess, totally write yourself in those situations, right? But with the resume you have, you damn sure hope so. And so it was tough, but it's like you said, this shit's hard, and it happens. We qualified 34th, and hell, Connor Hall was 31st. I mean, it's
Yeah, what we didn't mention
it's
is
tough.
the amount of provisionals that kind of got used and kind of screwed you out of, the time you do have a bad lap, 8 other guys that, typically wouldn't need one did too.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. I mean, the way they had set up the field, for those of you that don't know, is it was going to be 4 provisionals. Obviously, that would go to points. Well, 4 of your top 8 currently in Cars Tour points needed those, and I don't think anybody would have expected that. And again, as we just touched on Connor Hall, he's your points leader, and he needed one. So yeah, that obviously kind of shook things up, because at first I'm like, well, maybe we'll be all right. And then I'm sitting there and I'm watching qualifying go, and I'm like, oh shit, like there ain't no way. Like, because I could just start doing the math pretty quick in my head, and I'm like, there's too many good cars that are back here with me that were separated by a spot or two in points that are going to get it, before I do. So that obviously relegated us to the LCQ. Show up on Saturday, and it was kind of a similar thing. It continued to rain. Hell, at one point they had pulled us in the LCQ out on the front stretch and had to pull us back to pit road to try the track again. So the track couldn't have been any greener. And we started on the top lane, and I still think the track was a little damp up there. And I'm also basing that off of because I saw 2 guys go off in the corner about bust their ass. And all they did was enter high. So yeah, I mean, look, I commend the tour for everything all weekend with the cards that was thrown at them. Obviously, for my personal situation, it couldn't have been any worse. But people are always going to bitch and complain and say, "Oh, well, they should have done this, they should have done that," and that's always easy to say when you're not one of the ones actually having to be there to do your job, which is to make the show happen and get it in. So I fully commend the tour for doing their absolute best with what they were given and what they had to use to make it. It's not a knock against Hickory, but it's not like they have the greatest track drying equipment. They did work, tirelessly to get it done. But yeah, so it was just unfortunate. Like I said, we didn't make the show, and so that turned me into a fan, and or I was hoping to be a fan, but I finally threw the towel in myself on Sunday about 5:30 and come on back to the house, and
Yeah.
I was kind of glad I did by the time it went green.
Yeah, no doubt. I guess my experience was pretty similar. I mean, as far as being a fan, I got to kind of hang out, and I was there helping Blaine Harrison. Ended up not making the show. Was close to doing it. I mean, ended up, I think, was it 4th in the LCQ or 5th or something like that. So
something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's right there. He's a young kid. We're learning. We've been racing with him at Hickory this year. I think he's got a lot of potential. So hopefully we'll keep growing with him. He's got a lot more to learn, but I mean, I wouldn't have made no better qualifying lap with what he had. So I'm proud of what he did, and he's getting there. So we'll see what he's got in the future. But nonetheless, I got to be a fan kind of after we didn't make the show. Got to hang out with everybody and kind of go in the stands. And once we bailed, I mean, we had to park. I got there at about, let's see, Saturday. I got there at 4:00ish, I think, with the wife and kid, to watch the LCQs and stuff. We had to park all, where trackside parking is at Hickory. We had to park all the way up at the top of the woods up there. and that's obviously pretty out of the ordinary. So we knew it was busy. We got there, and that's exciting and stuff. So we obviously knew. I just had a feeling like every time the damn throwback race comes around, and the crowd was huge, and it just looked real. The skies looked real gray. I'm like, golly, surely it ain't going. Like, not again. And the reason I say that is just because of how cool. I mean, it was a great event, and like you said, they did all they could to get it in, and they did get it in on Sunday, obviously. But man, it was heartbreaking to see how many damn people were there Saturday night, or it was heartwarming to see how many people were there Saturday night, and then how leaving sucked because. Oh man, it like nobody. I mean, they got to see like 30 laps or so, or not even that. What was it 40 some laps at actually
44 laps.
40.
In that
So
race.
they got to see 44 laps of racing Saturday.
And you got to see about 5 of them in the pouring rain.
That's right. And yeah, that was wild.
The Pro Boys was digging.
That was wild. They did need to watch the LCQ as well, which is 20 laps, caution free. Anyways. It sucked to, I just really wanted it to happen. It almost felt like when Wilkesboro got rained out, right? Like, kind of, all that anticipation. It was shaping up to be one of the most busiest fan nights that I can remember at Hickory. I mean, like, there was a lot of parking taken up by campers this year, which is what I think kind of created the parking circus sort of up towards the trackside area. I call it the trackside area. They don't use it for trackside. They should. But anyway, it was still packed. I mean, like I'm saying, they did have some RV spots. People are going to say, well, if they would just not had the RV spots there, they wouldn't have had to use that. It's not true. There was a ton of people there. The red paint areas on the stairs where you usually leave an open path to walk up, people were just sitting on them. And you couldn't even walk up anywhere. And that sucks, but that was awesome. You know what I mean? Like, sucks sitting there in the stands, but at the end of the day, golly, I mean, that's stuff that you don't see too often, right? And it's cool to see. Do you think
one thing
is that just because of how high the purse is, or like the fans? Do you think the fans see, man, that's a lot of money, or is it just because of the throwback? Is it because it's the Cars Tour? Is it because of the timing of the year? Like, I don't know. What do you think it is? Combination?
I think it's all the above. And I think me and you are probably two of the best ones to ask this because we have been either in it or associated with it every year that it's ran, pretty much, or at least for the most part. Mm-hmm. And I can honestly say, and obviously I'm sure some stat guru can tell me whether we're right or wrong, but the throwback race has never not been packed. Mm-hmm. But I feel like this year that was probably the most people I've seen.
Yeah, I'd agree.
There. And I'd agree what was even more incredible and more gut wrenching, as you kind of touched on, for those of you who don't understand, I sat down there in the infield and watched at least for an hour and a half. Every person that was still there when it was raining, they didn't move. Mm-hmm. They stayed in those stands. Yes, some of them had umbrellas, some of them had ponchos. Some of them didn't and was just getting poured on, but they didn't move. And it was still probably 75% full at 9:30ish. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that Hickory's always obviously always had a lot of passionate fans, but anytime the throwback race is there, it's always a different level. And I honestly think it brings out a lot of, I think a lot of people from a lot of different areas come to that race. They damn sure drive like it. God dang, trying to get out of there. They didn't drive like the people I'm used to driving around. But man, great event. I hate the rain sucked. Obviously, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we're going to have the damn throwback race in July or something just to avoid. I mean, it'll rain then too. We've had it in July before and it rained.
I feel like at least there's been this pattern now for about 2-3 years that when the throwback race comes around and when Wilkesboro comes around, it's going to damn rain. Mm-hmm. It don't matter. I mean, it's like inevitable.
Yeah, May and August, just pretty tough months for racing as far as the rain goes. But got it in. Had to be on Sunday. The crowd was still pretty damn solid from what I hear. Everybody, has to work the next day, so it's not going to be as packed, especially on the TV and stuff like that. But nonetheless, I'm sure plenty of people watched at home on Flow, and boy, did they put on a good show. The late models wasn't the only race. Let's start off with the pros because they put on a pretty good show. Like we said, the remaining 56 laps started on Sunday night. Pretty remotely calm race up until the end, and Spencer Davis and Luke Baldwin ran Spencer Davis down, and got into him off of. Did you watch that? Did you see him get into him off of 4? And
I
he said he didn't really mean to.
Fence.
Yeah, me too. I thought they were wrecking like hell. He said he didn't really mean to there, and then Spencer got him back, and then Spencer also kept him from being able to cross him back over, which Luke wasn't real happy with, I think, in the post-race interview. But man, that was damn. I mean, it's for 30 grand. Like, I ain't getting crossed over for 30 grand either. So I get it. But I'd be pissed off if I was Luke too. So he didn't say anything wrong by no means. But Spencer went out there and won the damn thing. Great race by him.
Yeah, I think the big storyline for that one to start. I mean, me and my wife were sitting here on the couch, and I was kind of like a kid, man. I was finally excited. I was like, damn, we've been trying to do this for 2 days. Like, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was just glad to finally see some racing. And lo and behold, I see Caden pulling down. I'm like, what the hell's he doing? And then that's when Eric and Blake, informed everybody he was going to the old trunk for unapproved adjustment. So it would have been interesting to see Caden get to stay up there, I feel like, because obviously watching the first 44 laps on Saturday, he was very strong. Spencer was too. So at one point, Spencer did get under him there, but that was when the rain started. I'm not saying that's why he got under him, but I mean, Caden had been out front, all race till that point. And he still mowed back through there pretty good. I mean, I think he made it up to like 7th or 8th by the end of it. I think Caden did. So, but yeah, like you said, I mean, Luke was definitely upset. I get it. But like you said too, if you're Spencer, when you have the positioning there and you've been able to do it, you're damn sure making sure he don't turn under you and get a shot to either knock you out of the way or wreck both of you. I mean, you're going to make sure of that. So, yeah, it was exciting though. I mean, that was the thing. It wasn't a boring race by any means, and nobody ran away with it.
Yeah, no, it was badass. Badass little finish. I mean, barely like a nose length maybe at the line. So it was a nice little finish. Clean, no big wrecks or nothing like that. So I think some people were maybe expecting some crazy controversies in the pro race as well, just like they were in the late model race, but ended up pretty clean. And Spencer Davis went home $30,000 richer. Also, I bit the shit out of my tongue the other day, so if I sound weird at any given point, that's why. I mean, I don't know how I did it. It almost put me in the floor. I mean, I was just eating. What the fuck was I even eating? I don't even remember what I was eating, but I bit my whole tongue off, I think. So if I sound weird at any point, that's what happened. Also, well, let's go ahead. Not also. Let's move on. Late model stock racing. We got to the end of the 30K race and then up to 50K. And by God, Tristan McKee took off. That 7 car was pretty good. And we knew in the days leading up, we knew he was going to be pretty tough. In our little group of picks, we had I think a lot of people liked the McKee pick. And then there was a couple, Lane Riggs was among the some of them that was definitely being thought of. Landon, obviously, as well, being his home track, was high on the radar for us. So, I mean, what we didn't expect was McKee and Landon Lewis wrecking, because that was probably our top 2 who we think is going to be 1-2, just going to be a matter of which one's got it. And that opened the door for everybody else. And I will say, I think everybody probably expected something like that to happen at some point, right? Taking out some leaders getting wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at my wife when the caution come out 10 to go, and I said,
"Yep,
the hat went around backwards," and I said, "Better get them tow trucks purring, because here we go."
Yep.
I mean, you just know. I mean, if you've been doing this long enough, if you're a fan of ours, or a fan of the car store you've been watching, I would tell you that if that race the other night didn't pay 50, get amped up and get ready.
Mm-hmm.
But with it paying 50, it was just a damn sure certain
Yeah,
to be
absolutely.
ready. Like that, it was coming. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of who. Like, I mean, it is all it come down to. Who and how many.
Yeah.
You know, uh, I know we're going to get into this, so I think what has been interesting this week, and as podcasters, I think that's what makes it fun for me and you, is all this bullshit about intent or this or that. And I'll be the first to tell you, as a racer, it don't really damn matter. It's 50 grand. I'm not saying that means go out here and let's junk the field. I want to go on record and say that right now. I'm not, and anybody who knows how I race knows that. But I think what's been so crazy is all these people confusing that with like being surprised. Like, I wasn't surprised. Were you surprised?
Mm-mm.
Like, I mean,
No,
like,
not at all.
I don't think anybody's sitting in them stands. Remove your favorite driver from it if you're a fan.
Yeah.
You know, that was affected by it. And I mean,
Yeah.
it was gonna happen.
Oh, 100%. And what, obviously I'm sure everybody's seen it, but Caden had jumped the restart a little. Well, he jumped the restart, and on that ensuing, was it the following, when they got to 3 and 4?
They were coming back around. Yeah.
Coming back to complete that first lap is when chaos ensued, and what happened was, Caden Honeycutt got the jump obviously on the restart, so he was ahead of the 7 McKee on the outside, and McKee drifted up the track a little bit or got shoved from Lewis, not real sure there. Lewis ended up making it 3 wide on the bottom with a little bit of contact, and then they just kind of locked wheels, jumped over each other a little bit, whether Tristan turned left to try to wreck Landon or if the wheel got knocked out of his whole hand because he got, who knows what happens. I wouldn't say it looked like terribly egregious, but, everybody has their own opinion. I'm sure Landon feels like he got the shit wrecked out of him, and I'd probably feel the same way. But Tristan probably like, man, what do you want me to do in that situation? There's a car above me, So I can feel it kind of from both sides, but I feel like it could have definitely been avoided for sure. But that's part of it. It's for $50K. Nonetheless, they ended up wrecking like hell, and it took out Tristan, Landon, Chad McCumbee. Took the hell out of Carson Lofton. Yeah, he hit the tire barrier hard. And maybe a couple
Trayton
more.
Lapsovich.
A couple more.
Lane Riggs.
Lane, yeah. So a lot of big players taken out right then, and that left us, which we thought was going to be Caden Honeycutt, Benny Tyrell, Connor Jones, and Landon Huffman. We thought that was going to be the 4. And
Fryer was up there too.
Who was that?
Fryer, Jared.
Oh, I forgot to mention Jared. And ended up, Caden got sent to the rear because of the Now, when you look back on it, he jumped the start. And I think it's pretty clear that he went pretty early. However, the argument online has been that throughout the year, the calls have not necessarily, they haven't made those calls. They've been inconsistent. And then also, I think I thought at first that McKee potentially missed a shift or something. That's why that's a common. It's either he did that or the restart got jumped. Usually there's no in between. So I guessed wrong. So I wasn't sitting there screaming like, "Hey, they got to throw a caution. Why is the caution not out?" Obviously somebody out there was sitting there thinking there should be a caution before they even get off a 2 here because the restart's not good. That is how I would want it to be called if I'm Tristan McKee.
Yeah.
Right? However, throughout the year, they're saying it hasn't necessarily been called this way. Now, I ain't watched it that hard. I ain't watched restarts that hard. And when I've been in these races, I ain't had to worry about controlling a damn restart. I'm just trying not to wreck. Now, with that being said, I don't know exactly how consistent they are. That's up for your guys' own judgment. Brandon, I mean, how do you feel? I mean, what's your opinion on that? Like, I want to hear the raw deal.
To me, I've been pretty vocal on this because it's been a topic of discussion all year. What sucks is it had gotten pretty good for a couple races. It started again at Caraway, and I mean Ray Charles could have seen it coming for Hickory, obviously because of it being 50 grand.
Mm-hmm.
The games, but in my opinion, sitting on my couch at home, I thought that. And they preach it to us every week. Stay with the pace car, run that speed at least, and they would prefer even not anything super, jolty, but gradually increase it to the box. And then you're the leader. And yes, the leader should get to choose when to go. In my opinion, Tristan either only kept pace car speed, but in my personal opinion, didn't keep that once he got to the box because he seen that Caden had. And I think he was trying to entice Caden. No different than any of the rest of us. Okay, as soon as I see him drop back, I'm fucking going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's what he was going to do. The difference is Caden didn't do that. He just maintained his speed, and they were late in the box. That's what you people, I think, also aren't seeing. Our box isn't the Hickory box. We have banners.
Yeah.
And while they are pretty close to that, it actually starts about a whole nother banner length but where those two lines are at Hickory. So they were actually at the end of the restart, our restart line when they went. And I think that's why Caden went ahead and went. Now, was he ahead of McKee? So technically, or for all intents and purposes, say he jumps to start? Yes, absolutely. I think what people were referring to, matter of fact, I seen somebody from Honeycutt's team post it before me and you got on here. It happened at Caraway at least twice, which was obviously the most recent race, car store race before this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think people's frustration is at, and I can understand that.
Oh, yeah.
Just like I can understand Caden going. I mean, I'd tell you right now with Kip and the tour and everybody else listening, if I was in Caden's shoes the other night and I'm the guy outside, I know the dude on the inside's probably running me to the cemetery when we get to 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go to him.
Yeah. I'm trying to get
I
going.
mean, because either they're going to call it or they're not, right? I mean, that's the 50-50 you're in.
Right.
So,
I mean, in most cases, though, I mean, the rule is the same in the car store as it is, I mean, like, in a local race, right? Like, you get a chance. Or you get one redo or not.
That's what I've been trying to remember because it has changed since I've been on the tour, and I've been on the tour a long time.
Yeah.
I thought how it was last is that they weren't giving warnings anymore.
Okay.
If it was considered a jump, you were going to the rear.
Well, that's the case then. I mean, that's the rule.
Yeah, so that is how I remember it last being told to us, that they weren't giving warnings anymore.
Yeah.
It was going to be that you go.
Right. Which, I mean,
and I'm okay with that. I just want to see it called that way every time.
Right. Okay. So that's more so what everybody's pissed off about. Like they're okay with that being a rule. They're just saying that they haven't been calling it.
Correct.
Okay. So that makes more sense because I was like, what the hell? Is that not a rule all the time? All right. Well, anyway, so he gets the shit into the stick there. Caden decides to opt out of the race and take his business elsewhere. And we keep on racing. And from there on, honestly, I thought it ended up being pretty clean, right? I mean, obviously, that was the last restart, but Minion kind of set sail. He says, there was a lone red flag. Obviously, the tires got knocked down. That red flag lasted every bit of 30 minutes, right?
Oh, God, yeah, at least. I mean, them tires were everywhere, and there was fluid and water out of them. I mean, it was a mess.
So, yeah, I had a 30-minute red flag. Drivers sitting on the track in their cars, probably hot as hell. So that probably sucked. Did you get any report on... I did, you know what? Now I think about it, I did see Minnie with a fan during the red flag, so maybe they let
Yeah,
guys...
but I don't know if it was that hot. I think maybe people were trying to keep windshields from doing up and fogging up, because I remember when I left Sunday, it was pretty cool. I stayed, it was pretty cool
now
out.
That you say that, it really probably wasn't that bad. But still, 10 laps to go. Old temps in their car is pretty hot, so I'm sure it wasn't the most comfortable thing in the world. But nonetheless, 50 grand on the line, that's the last thing you give a shit about. It's how comfortable you are. So those guys, that's probably the longest red flag of their life, I would say, even it might have been the longest just time based, but I bet it felt like the longest just because they were sitting there waiting with 10 laps in front of them and $50,000. And also, I mean, there's a severe difference in position, 2, 3, and 4. You know what I mean? Like you're not only racing for 50 grand, but there's a, $4,000 or $5,000 difference in between finishing fourth and second and third, whatever. So, nonetheless, that mattered too, even though 50 grand means a whole lot more than that. But they battled it out. Minnie ended up not walking away with it, but he set sail. I thought that Jared Fryer was going to give him hell. Honestly, I thought it had Jared Fryer written all over it. He seems like the big money reward collector guy these days, and he about did it. Just came up one spot short. Still won $7 grand, I guess. So that's not too bad of a day for Jared. But and Connor Jones ended up third, right after starting.
That's right.
30th. And making his way in via the LCQ, last car in, so that was pretty badass for him. And Landon ends up fourth, and then wins the best appearing car too. So one wraps 3 in a row on wrap jobs that I've done on best appearing cars. I won in 23, then Landon's won the last 2, so we're doing pretty good there. So successful weekend as far as that goes, but. Minnie Tyrell, $50,000 richer, and his crew and stuff was really adamant about like someone giving him a chance and stuff after the race. I thought that was a very good opportunity to say some stuff like that for sure, because there's a lot of people watching it. So yeah, I also seen some pictures of Minnie put up after the race. His first time racing a throwback race, he wore a Jeff Gordon throwback or something, and he looked like a 7-year-old kid, literally. He was like 4 foot tall. And pudgy little boy, and had a damn fire suit, Jeff Gordon suit on. I remember like him racing. I was like, what the hell? How is he old enough to race? And then now he's out here tearing it up. So good for him. Not many more people out there. I'd rather win that, for sure. So good for him, good for his team. I'm sure they're doing a lot of good with it for sure. So
yeah,
good year for him. That's 3 wins too. That's who the new win leader for the year.
Yeah, one thing I did want to touch back on too with the fans that was cool. I know it's one thing we always enjoy. I know it was a really big success for you and your merch stuff the year that you won it with the Hooters car. But it was nice. We've had to cancel the last couple fan fests on the car store. It's one thing that's always a big deal, something that you and I enjoy. There's drivers that don't enjoy it. I'll safe to say it on here. I don't know what the hell is wrong with y'all. Like why you don't. It's pretty stupid to me, but whatever. But anyway, long story short, we got to do it again. And dude, that line, first off, let me back up. I thought it was really cool how Kip, Carson, whoever, everybody collectively, the idea that they came up with to do it outside the racetrack, which also was to help, of course, them be able to dry the track while we were doing it. So they put it on what I would consider the fan midway, lower part of the bleachers there.
Yeah.
And it worked pretty good because it just allowed everything to flow pretty nice. But, man, that line I think it ended up being, well over an hour. I don't know the exact time frame on it, but it was a lot of people. I mean, I know I signed a lot of hero cards. So I just thought that was really cool. I always enjoy getting to do that, and especially those people who've been there for, days in the rain, just like us. So nice to be able to give back to them, come up and meet all their favorite drivers, get some merch and stuff like that. So just big kudos to the tour for still making sure that all those hardcore fans that sat out in the rain, just like all of us race teams did this weekend, still got to feel appreciated, and kids go meet their favorite driver and stuff like that. I just wanted to give a big tip of the cap to the tour for still making that happen.
Yeah, that was cool. I got to see it too, so that was neat too. I like that. I think the fans definitely enjoyed getting to see the cars up close and personal. So, like, in the future, they'll probably go back to something like that. But don't hate the idea of having some kind of assembly line kind of deal like that, because it, like you said, flowed really good. And I think a lot more people were able to get hero cards from pretty much every driver, or at least every driver that they wanted to. So, another thing I need to probably address is I tweeted during the race, and unfortunately, it caught wind. It was one of those that in the moment it sounded funny, but all I said, I mean, it wasn't nothing bad. I just said Hickory police throwing drivers around like for sport again, LOL. And the reason I said that is because I mean it seems like every week every time there's a scuffle. It's not every week, but every time there's a scuffle at Hickory, I mean before it even gets to a point of something happening, which is for the better. And usually it's a mini stock guy or somebody, a renegade car or whatever, and they're really fighting for for really no reason. Just a little fender banger, the whole deal, and the cops, I mean, they'll full blown shoulder, they'll Brian Urlacher tackle somebody, full cuff them and drag their ass across the track. And I'm like, I get it. They don't want fighting at Hickory. And it's for the better. It's not good. You got kids racing, that whole deal. You could run into a very hairy situation with fighting. It's not good. However, this is for $50,000. And Landon Lewis wasn't fighting anybody. He was walking across the track to go to his fucking trailer. And the car that wrecked him's owner met him and probably called him an asshole, which is fine. Part of it. No punches. And then the cop grabs him, rips his shoulder out of socket, and takes him across the track. I'm like, damn. So that's when I tweeted it. I wasn't like saying police suck. I hate the cops. Hell no. I mean, I love the cops. I'm a few of the cops there I talked to. But god dang, if you piss them off, just be ready to throw a juke in there. Because if not, you're getting laid out. You got to be quick on your feet. Don't do nothing that makes a cop go after you. But if you happen to find yourself in that situation, low man wins. Yeah. No, it's all jokes aside. That unfortunately I tweeted it, and just to point out the obvious to some other drivers that are familiar with the situation, like Moonhead or people like Seth or whatever. Turns out, even Dale replied, "Is like, let them stop the shit." I'm like, well. God dang, it wouldn't even start nothing. He was just walking to his trailer. So I'm like, I had and then also an AI meme making place out of India, NASCAR something, I don't know, some fake AI Facebook page used my tweet as the center picture, and then like pictures of people fighting or like not even fight. I mean, nobody fought. It was just a congregation of sorts. A fiery one at that, but a congregation. And anyway, they used my tweet, so I personally didn't give them permission for that. So I would like for that to be taken down. And I guess I apologize if anybody feels like I hated the police. That's not the case at all. I just, I'm a huge supporter of the police force. I just was confused at why Landon Lewis, who is a guy that was just racing for $50,000, just wrecked, was walking back to his hauler, getting yelled at by another team owner, gets his shoulder pulled out of socket. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
Am I over-exaggerating him getting his shoulder pulled out of socket? Probably. But god dang. I know that if I'm Landon Lewis and I'm walking across the track and I'm not being aggressive and I'm not fighting anybody and people are going to screenshot a picture of a cop ripping me off for doing nothing, they might send that to somebody and say, hey, don't sponsor this guy. He's a bad guy, That's what I'm thinking of. I'm not thinking of screw the cop. I mean, obviously that's a little bit far-fetched, but I'm just thinking like, why are we getting... And I did it. We got to shut shit down. But holy hell, they looked like they was about to escort Lewis out of there, and he didn't do nothing. Yeah. So that's why I was like, what are we doing? So, that's my address on my tweet about the cops and police. Sorry about that, police. I support you. Yeah, well, $80,000 was given away this weekend. Not given away. Well, more than that. What was the total purse? 100,000? What was it? 100 and...
God, yeah. There's no telling, man. I mean, it had to be.
Do you think this returns next year?
Yeah, I do.
I think so too. I think it needs
to. I don't know if it'll be there. I mean, I haven't heard that it wouldn't be. But who knows? I mean, I could totally see it that if this is a staple that the tour keeps around and flow and that's another thing too, right? That we need to make sure that we, flow was a big part in this.
Yeah.
Very big.
Huge. Yeah, I think they pretty much did it.
Yeah, so we definitely need to make sure we touch on that. But so I'm sure a lot of it has to do with that, right? If their continuation of support, but I could see it becoming, and I think it'd be cool if it does, right? The Throwback Classic sticking around, even if that means it moves to other racetracks.
Yeah, I'm starting.
It'd still be the
I'm
throwback
thinking
race, but
the thing about the throwback, it being the throwback race, being the 50K every year, it almost the throwback race is big anyway. You know what I mean? Like we've said this multiple times. It's like it's already a big race. Like people love the throwback. Like you almost don't have to do something too crazy to still make that big. So I think it gives them an opportunity to, like you said, do it at a different track every year, and bring it back to the throwback, every few years or whatever. I love that idea. But I do think people like the idea of revolving big money races or big championship races. Same with the Cup Series. Like we don't want to watch the Cup Series championship at Phoenix every year. It'd be cool if they rotated around. If they're, like similar situation.
Well, it's no different than all of us that at the end of the year that go race Martinsville and know that we have a high probability to tear our shit up. We do it every year anyway because you're racing at Martinsville for a lot of money and a grandfather clock.
Right.
So, I agree with you about, keeping, and, a lot of people have and floated a great job on this as well, and the car store of, getting drivers' comments on it, right? Like it's, me and you are race fans, right? A lot of people are. So we watch different forms of racing. Well, like a perfect example for this is there is a ton of money in dirt racing. As far as, yes, they spend a lot. Like that's the thing that I wish would become more of like a staple, so it's not having to be beat like a dead horse. If you're racing anything, folks, it's expensive. It really doesn't matter what it is. So, but there's a lot of purse money in dirt racing. So it's been really cool to see it finally kind of trickle its way into the asphalt world. And I hope it's only the beginning. I think it's, I feel like from the outside looking in with I don't have any knowledge on this. So this is just me, making an opinion. I feel like that was probably the reasoning for it, was to kind of test the waters and see how it goes. And obviously on any of those things, then if it goes successfully, the sky's the limit of what it can grow into.
Yeah, I saw a good amount of comments that were from dirt racing fans, it seemed like, that was like, man, I've been waiting for a big money asphalt race. Finally get the reason to watch one on float. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah. Damn. So they just want to watch big money stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think we can sit there and allow one wreck to classify the race as a wreck fest, because it really wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the only big wreck of the night, and it's with 10 to go.
Yeah, people are, that's the thing about car store. People, or drivers, peers, all that. People get real proud, and they try to protect the product almost too much. It's like, yeah, obviously this is grassroots short track racing, and it's supposed to be respectful, and you're supposed to learn how to race here and do it the right way. However, just like everything else in the world, things evolve, and the standard changes, and the attention span changes. The drivers change. You don't have it's not Deke McCaskill and Bobby McCarty and Josh Berry battling for wins now. It's a 15 and an 18 and a 20-year-old. Yeah. It's going to be a little more aggressive. There's going to be some crazier shit happening. If you want to see some clean, polite racing, that's really good racing, you can go catch that on Saturday nights at a lot of short tracks. And you can catch it at car store races a lot of times too. But the caliber of drivers that are trying to get to the next level and know what they're going to have to do at the next level, and that are that hard-nosed and they race that freaking hard for 50 grand, that also means the local guys also racing that hard for 50 grand. Man, I understand it's going to create controversy, and it's going to create some big wrecks, and there's going to be people do some stupid shit and tear up a $100,000 race car for $50,000. I mean, that sucks, right? But at the end of the day, that was some pretty badass stuff. And I don't know. I mean, like, man, if that race was for 10 grand, that wreck probably still happens. Like, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
what I was saying. You know, like,
it's not a that didn't happen because it was 50 grand. If the only thing that could have happened that I seen, Jared Fryer picked the gas up earlier than I've ever seen anybody pick it up in my life off of Ford coming to the checkers at Hickory. He almost damn got to the bumper. Did you see that? That's a $50,000.
Yeah.
That's a $50,000 move. It's not the. I mean, yeah, there people are being way more anxious, and they're I get it, and it's going to cause some stuff like that. But god dang, I mean, you didn't see one. Well, there's one debatable intentional wreck or whatever, but there was like not one big shitty intentional wreck, and you know what I mean. Like it was pretty respectful as far as
yeah, as a racer, and I was as unfortunately missing the race. Sitting on my couch, I expected guys to be a lot more antsy than they were, but I can say as a competitor of this series, an advocate of this series, and somebody that takes a lot of pride racing in the series, I was proud to see guys race still with respect, because at the end of the day, you still want to do it the right way, And it's like Minnie. I mean, he did it the right way. Like, did he move people? Yeah, but he got moved. Like, so it was an eye for an eye. It wasn't like, oh, okay, you moved me, so now I'm going to wreck you. Like, like you got to do it the right way. And everybody knew, because I was still there to be a part of that. They told us in the very first meeting of the weekend, boys, you turn somebody around, you ain't winning. Like, you're not going home with the 50 grand. And that's how it should be. I mean, are we going to beat and bang? Am I going to knock you out of the way if I get to your bumper? Yeah, but I know if you go around, well, I'm not getting it either. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's like you said. I mean, and I know I touched on it earlier. Like, folks, Cars Tour is so tight. It's so close every week. And I'm not, and Dylon's not. We're not sitting here saying that we, agree with the wrecking or that's just Cars Tour racing. Like, everybody's so close. Everybody's equipment's so good. Everybody's running the same speed. Shit's going to happen. And the only difference this week is that it happened racing for 50 grand, but it wasn't anything that hasn't already happened this year.
Right.
And it'll happen again. So,
yeah, I mean, it's it's always going to create moments like that late in races, no matter what the money's for. But obviously, like you said, I did feel like early in the race, it was like everybody was kind of jockeying for position a little bit harder. Like the first 10, 20 laps felt intense to me. I was like, damn. Like Landon kind of getting freight trained there at the start. I was like, oh, he better get down. That was I was feeling anxious for him, and I know he was probably sitting there freaking out too. So, I do. It was cool. I mean, I think it was a big success. I would give it a 10 out of 10 as far as their procedures and the way they did things. It's just the you can only do so much about the weather. Me and Brandon talked about the ratings, and we usually do track ratings every week, but since neither one of us raced, we figured that would be kind of weird. We'll just kind of touch on the points of emphasis that we typically do as far as the actual rating scale goes. Now throughout this season, we've done one for all the episodes that we've done, but obviously since we haven't raced, we can only kind of delve into these so much. But fun factor, I mean, it looked like a pretty racy, obviously, Hickory. Now the thing is when it gets to a certain point, it's so hard to pass because of the bumps and everything. Like people can make it hell to pass when they're up top. However, it looked like pretty now with it being like that restart there at the end with 10 to go, like Landon and Connor Jones, they couldn't get away from each other, and that kind of stopped them from being able to put themselves in position to get into second or potentially the win. So that was, you can see that, and that's obviously classic Hickory racing there. You'll never see it be a whole lot different. So I'm sure fun-wise, I would say most guys had pretty good amount of fun. You'd probably agree with that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a very competitive race. I mean, there was passes from all over the field all night long. Nobody really. I mean, Tristan had checked out there, pretty early, but I think he checked out pretty early for the same reason, like what you're saying. Like, right off the rip, it was side by side for rows and rows and rows. Well, if a guy's got clean racetrack, he's going to pretty easily be able to inch away.
Right.
And hell, if I remember right, by the first time the guy or car that got single file got in line, I mean, hell, he was already out 6, 8 car lengths. I mean, that's already a pretty good gap. So yeah, I would agree. I mean, fun factor had to be kind of up there. I mean,
Yeah.
Hickory's very bumpy and got a lot of characteristics, and we're both fans of tracks that have characteristics. So
Oh yeah, the atmosphere was obviously good. Throwback week's always good. I mean, the rain hurt things there, but had a lot of fan turnout. They had funnel cakes and merch and all that good stuff up in the trackside area, and plenty of promotions and stuff as per usual. The facilities.
it was so busy in the pits. Buddy Scoop sold out ice
Oh
cream.
yeah, Buddy Stoops was in the infield. That was badass. My crew indulged plenty of times. Facilities, Hickory's been upgrading. They get better and better kind of every time you go there. They've got a scoreboard now. Since the last time we raced there, they didn't have the big video board up. They've also paved the whole infield as well as the backstretch, which you probably noticed this time. Basically made it a big drift pad infield. So they're going to start having drift events there and stuff, which I think is really cool. I might be.
That's normally where tracks go wrong.
Well,
we'll see.
You have.
I'm saying as far as for the upgrade you just made, it's when
Yeah.
you start tearing your shit up. But
Probably right, but I don't know how. Maybe the asphalt holds up good. Either way, I think I'm gonna have to do a little drifting eventually. That sounds fun as shit. But they do have a whole lot more asphalt on the infield. Makes it a little bit hotter in there. I will say it feels like it's 20 degrees hotter in Hickory than it ever has been this year. But nonetheless, everything's a whole lot nicer. The bathrooms are a lot nicer now. They did their upgrades last year at the start of the year, I think, or was it the year before that? I think it was last year, yeah. And they've held true. Good old trough urinal, kind of the same deal. But the stalls are nice and tall now. They have the stalls actually when you flush now sprays sprays a little air freshener, self flushing.
thought I heard a little
little
something. Yeah.
Gives you a nice little, aroma bath. So the bathrooms are a lot nicer nowadays. Concessions hold pretty tried and true there. They got their hot dogs and hamburgers and chicken tenders and all that good stuff, and usually have slushies and all that stuff around the outside of the track, and so you can't ever really go wrong with that. And then the surrounding area, it was real rainy this time, so didn't go do a whole lot. However, we did kick it and drink some beers at my house one of the nights, and Hickory obviously is a cool area. I mean, it's our kind of my home area, and we've spent a lot of time here. So, obviously nothing's changed much there. I think if anything they've added to that. So I think Hickory would have definitely been up a little higher in the scoring this time than they usually have been, just because of the upgrades that they've made.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. I mean, I was going back on some of our notes.
They would be really high, I think, because, in 2023, they was 6.3. And then last year, they was 7.2. So they got a pretty good score last year. They might end up going up a little bit more with the video board and stuff for sure. So, Hickory was getting close to the 8th again. They haven't even paved the track yet. So, as we talked about years ago when we gave Hickory a 6, we was like, man, it ain't gonna take much. They start doing some things that's gonna be back to prime, and it's starting to get that way again. I mean, the track surface is bad. I mean, it's done though. But I still love racing on it. I'll ride it out as long as they want to ride it out. But I do think it's probably, just right around the corner before that place probably gets paved. Probably get some press box renovations, and maybe some parking lot renovations. I think that's the next 3 things probably on the list for Hickory, if I'm guessing.
Be so damn glad when the bump into turn 1 goes away.
Yeah.
Screw that damn thing.
Yeah, that bump is treacherous.
It used to be fun, but I swear every time we go now, it's like it settles and gets worse. And it was definitely our Achilles heel this past weekend. So
yeah, it'll get you. I mean, it's definitely settled more and more, or got worn out over the years, because I can feel it more when I go test nowadays, I can feel it a whole lot more than I used to. I know that. So yeah, Hickory, great event they put on. Piercy family did a good job of accommodating everything. I know that they obviously have to work like hell to make all that happen. So shout out to Kevin and that whole family. They've done a good job, especially recently on the renovations and stuff. So cool to see that. Moving on though, going to Anderson. You pretty old Branderson going to Anderson. Feeling good about that one, buddy? Back in the saddle.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like we touched on, it was unfortunate for me and my guys this past weekend. The best medicine though is to get back to the racetrack. So
Yeah.
I selfishly, I wish we were going this week. I'm thankfully though glad that we're not, because all of our guys definitely need a rest. We need to WD-40 freaking everything because
Including all their
our
knees and
jacks.
elbows.
I mean, God Almighty, man. Okay, yeah, because there was a whole lot of standing around holding up war wagons or vice versa this weekend. So yeah, everybody from humans to jacks to cars needs some greasing. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited. It's from what I've heard, it's got character. It's wore out, or can wear your stuff out, and that definitely plays into my driving style, where it puts it back in the driver's hands some and adds finesse versus just, pile the throttle to it, gripped up all night. So looking forward to that. It looks like a neat beer joint. Kind of me and you were talking about before we came on air here, that it's kind of looks like maybe a bigger Wake County. Or definitely some similarities of that. So, yeah, I mean, to me, it looks like it's roomy enough to race. Does not look like there's probably much of a top line, but every time we say that, normally somebody goes there and makes it work. So looking forward to it. And obviously old Dale's coming back too. So I know today me and Dylon were talking about it. They have already sold out of their trackside seating.
Yep.
As well as the allotted number for fan pit passes. So grandstand ticket folks are still available when you're hearing this, but from what I was told, you better act fast because there's not many of those left either.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool, man. Already selling out. Dale being there obviously is a big help to that. But man, the car store hasn't been to Anderson and since 2017. We talked about it earlier. I believe, did we say Josh Berry won it? I think
so. Yeah,
pretty sure
yeah,
we said Josh Berry won it.
Yeah.
2017. Landon raced in that one. Jared Fryer raced in that one. Outside of that, not a whole lot of active car store drivers raced in that one. So we'll see. It'll be a pretty new track for everyone. And Anderson is, like Brandon said, small, tricky little track. So we'll see. Might have a new maybe a new winner. That'd be neat. New winner this late in the year. Something like that.
That's something. Let's add a little factor in there. We got what, 5 tour races left? Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, we got 10 down.
Yeah. So do we see a new winner, Dylon Wilson, between now and championship night? And by a new winner, I mean, I don't necessarily mean a first time cars tour winner. I'm just saying on the season. Do we see a new winner?
I think so, because you could definitely still see a yeah, I think so. I think there's a good chance. I would venture to say yes, there will be a new winner before the end of this year.
Do we see a new first time Cars Tour late model stock winner?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, maybe Doug Barnes if they catch some fire or something like that. I mean, he finished 5th this past week, so maybe they're
unless, am I missing something, or doesn't McKee fall into that category too?
True. Yep. Has not won a late model stock race, obviously. So, yeah, Tristan McKee, Doug Barnes. That's 2 guys that definitely are on the radar for sure. So, yeah, man, I definitely think you could see a new winner this year, but maybe a winner that hasn't won at all get their first ever win. So, 5 to go.
Yeah.
5 to go. We got Anderson, Tri-County, Wilkesboro. I know that's not in order. South Boston and something else.
So maybe it's only 4. I don't know.
How many races is
'Cause I
it?
feel like
15 or
he's-
14? Because we ran 10 now.
I thought it was 15.
Pretty sure it's 15, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So Anderson, South Boston,
Tri-County,
Tri-County.
Wilkesboro.
Yeah, I must be either I'm missing. Well, here I've got it.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
see
Got to
how
pull
many
it up at
play.
this point.
Yeah,
Somebody's
I've
screaming
got
at
it up.
us right now. Listen to this. Going, it's fucking.
Yeah, you idiot. Oh, Florence, duh.
Oh, yeah.
There it
Florence.
is.
Florence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see? Oh, Friday night,
Yep.
Labor Day weekend.
That'll be good. So,
So,
yep. Good handful of races left. 5 races to go, but all good ones. I mean, literally. Anderson, Florence, South Boston, Tri-County, and then Wilkesboro. So,
yeah, and we're giving back-to-back love to our South Carolina fans, folks. We will be down there back-to-back. We go to Anderson and then Florence. So.
We're on the South trip right now. That's badass.
Yeah, the old Palmetto.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe my plan right now is to obviously run Wilkesboro, but it'd be sick to show up to something random and unannounced. We'll see what happens. But up until then, we'll try to keep you guys informed. Next one's obviously Anderson, so we will be talking to you guys after that one. Sorry for the break. We had to go, take care of some business. Went to the beach, and we, I had a lot of work to do. Obviously, a lot of wraps and stuff like that, and a little bit of Brandon's racing himself, and then was kind of trying to race. Didn't end up getting to run the Jack Ingram race that I had planned on running due to, we had a starter break and just kind of ran out of time. So I am trying to race right now. It's just things haven't worked out exactly the way I planned on it. So I know a couple of you guys asked me at Hickory, and I said I have no idea, and that's because I don't know when I'm going to race. I'm not making that up, but eventually I'm going to race. I'm going to race at some point, but I don't know when. We're just going to have fun with it and go help Blaine out for a little bit and go try to win this championship at Hickory with him, and then just see what the rest of the year holds after that. So we'll see you guys, I guess, next time. Brandon, you got anything else to say? Good to go?
I think that's it. Yep.
All
Appreciate everybody. We're glad to be back talking to y'all, and we'll talk to you after Anderson.
Yeah, we will be back. Thanks again. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave us a rating, review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you're listening to us at. If you're on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, so you can see all the content that we're coming out with. We'll try to get another episode after the good old race at Anderson. Talk about that stuff. And we will see you guys next time. Peace out.